What's your name, please?
Mary Ann Mushat.
Mary Ann.
I am a constituent of Commissioner Scarmetta, and I live in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I am in full support of taking the efficiency component out of energy and placing it in a third party.
Okay.
And I just want to say, I have had energy's efficiency people come out to my house twice, and all they did was give me light bulbs and a little thing to put on my kitchen sink to make the stream a shower, and that was their concept of helping me save energy. So I question that last statement about how they're doing such a good job. And I just think you should stay the course, take it out of the vendor and give it to an independent party to help the people of Louisiana. That's basically all I
Thank
want
you,
to say.
Mary Ann. Jenner, do you want to come forward and defend herself on that? Okay, seeing no energy person,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Could we have a representative of Entergy, SWEPCO, and Tetra Tech, please? I do have some questions. Huh?
Entergy, SWEPCO, and Tetra Tech, or okay.
I believe so.
And I don't know if Tetra Tech has someone here.
They do.
Oh, okay. Oh, hi. I didn't see you earlier. I was hiding in the back.
Good morning,
okay,
Commissioner.
I think first thing I would like to hear from Entergy about the light bulbs and the faucet thing they got.
If I heard correctly, and I think I did, the lady who spoke is a resident of New Orleans.
Correct.
I work for Entergy, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
I can't speak to Entergy New Orleans' programs, so with all due
Yeah, just-
respect, I'm not the right person to
So,
talk about
Entergy New Orleans is regulated by the mayor and the city council, not the commission, all
The
right?
city council, and they have a separate energy efficiency program, and I just can't speak to the ins and outs of it.
Okay, just delete my request to get an explanation.
Acknowledged.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we've got,
I have one quick
Commissioner
question
Lewis,
for Larry. Mr. Hand, can you explain Entergy's current E&MV contractor and how you hired them? What do those administrative costs look like? I mean, I think there's some confusion, but that's why I called you up to the table to explain kind of what you're already doing with an E&V contractor.
I will do my best, and with all due respect, at a high level, because I don't have the details. My expert on energy efficiency, Heather LeBlanc, is not here. She could, and I'll bring her to meet with you guys to talk through it. But at a high level, we do contract for EM&V services under the utility-led program. I will, not to disparage anybody, we did switch the company that we use for EM&V services from a different provider. We had issues with a different provider. We were not pleased with the level of service. We did switch, I believe last year, don't quote me on the date, we did switch to contract with Tetra Tech as our provider now. I don't know the amount of the contract, and even if I did, I don't know that I would want to disclose it publicly, but, we did switch to them. It is part of the services, we contracted for under our utility-led programs. I don't know if that helps.
No, that absolutely helps, and I see our friends from Frontier and Tetra Tech. I just,
Actually, I'm from SWEPCO.
SWEPCO, I'm sorry.
we're gonna change it.
We talked
We
about
may
Frontier
have
with you, so apologies for getting mixed up. But also I would like to hear your response, kind of that same question I asked Mr. Hand.
Some bail.
Well, we
And
do.
please introduce yourself for the record.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Catherine. I'm Deborah Miller. I manage the energy efficiency programs for SWEPCO. We currently use a different EM&V evaluator in Louisiana. We use Tetra Tech in our Texas programs, and that's why I was asked to come up here and speak about them.
Got you, thank you. Thank you so much for that clarification. Mr. Chairman, I'm good. No more questions.
Okay.
And we have one more.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir. We have one more constituent who would like to speak very briefly. He
Okay.
promised he'd be brief. Mr. Clark. you wanna
You have
walk up?
She's sitting
There's a guy in a red shirt. Hey,
Deborah, will you sign a yellow card, please?
I forgot.
you know, the more
Mr.
we
Clark?
take on and do this ourselves, the more we expose ourselves. Just so you know.
Y'all can just go bring them over there.
To the green button.
What's your name?
There you go.
Jim Clark.
Jim? Hey, Jim, go ahead.
I'm an energy efficiency contractor in the energy and the CLECO program.
Okay.
And because you guys deferred number 3, I wasn't going to come up and speak because that's what I'm really interested in. The lady that came up a while ago is speaking on the crux of my issue with the programs. She lives in New Orleans, so she's obviously an energy customer. She probably has gas heat. Energy and CLECO treat gas customers completely different. If you're an energy customer, you get almost no rebate to help towards your energy efficiency upgrade, which will be the same process when the TPA takes over the whole thing. If you're a CLECO customer, y'all get treated the same. So when energy contractors come in to do the work, we can do more work per home with less outlay from the customers to get the most energy efficiency upgrades for the customer. I met with a couple of the energy heads for the couple of the commissioners, and it doesn't seem like anybody knows a lot about the residential side. Everybody's focused on commercial because that's where the big green energy savings come in.
Yeah.
So I would beg you guys to hold off and learn more about the way the residential programs work, because that's who votes for you. Those are the people that need to save money. Those are the ones that need the energy efficiency upgrades to pay their bills. And we make huge differences in people's homes in St. Tammany. I mean, monstrous. I would venture to say that we do more work per home than any other contractor in the program, and have for the last 7 or 8 years. I wasn't going to speak because, like I said, you deferred the deal, but I had to answer that because the difference between treating customers the same means that in St. Tammany Parish, every single citizen is a customer without any drawbacks. When you go into the energy program and a contractor goes into a gas furnished home, I mean, it's like 20 cents a square foot towards a insulation rebate. In CLECO, it's 60 cents a square foot. Because CLECO gives 74% of the funds back to the consumer, and energy is about 51 because of their higher overhead with the corporate administration of the program. And that's what we want to do all over the state, especially the people in the outlying areas. They're going to be completely left out. No contractor is going to travel an hour to not make any money on a house. And although we want to help people, we do run businesses. So that's real. I'd like to meet with every one of you. I've talked to Commissioner Lewis, I've talked to Mary, and I used to speak with Bill Robinson all the time, Foster. He was a great guy.
Jim, listen, we hear what you're saying. We want to hear from the contractors like yourself. Just for your benefit, these rules are not locked in today.
Right.
We are working on changing them to be friendly to the homeowners and consumers, and the best advice is going to come from the vendors who get out there, and we want you to make a profit and have a stable business, and we can't do the job without you. So come see the commissioners. I'll share that word all over the state to each of us. We're listening to you, and we want to improve the system we have. And
Awesome.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would, under the current rule, we've created an energy efficiency working group to address these questions and challenges that you've brought up. So I know we may be having a working group meeting relatively soon, so I would advise you, and I'll work with you, and my staff will work to get that information, to attend the working group, which has the utilities, it has advocates. We definitely want trade allies, so we are making sure that we are looking at every issue from every vantage point. And so under the current rule right now, we've developed that working group, so I would encourage you to please join us and bring those details so we can make sure that if there's anything that needs to be tweaked, changed, or address some of your concerns, we can do that as well.
Awesome. Okay, thank you guys.
okay, any other? Okay, well, let's call a
Roll call vote.
Mr. Chairman, one last comment on the issue, and ordinarily I would defer to my colleague who was asking for a delay on this matter. But out of respect to the contractors who have submitted bids, who have flown in and traveled from around the United States to meet with some of us, obviously not all of us. They were consummate professionals. I believe they all presented excellent bids for us to choose from. Out of respect to their time and their efforts in running their own businesses, I think it would be a disservice to them to postpone this for another 4 weeks, when obviously our colleague would maybe meet with them but might not change his overall opinion on whether or not any of them should be hired. And so out of respect to him, so that he's not wasting his time, out of respect to the companies, I'm going to support the motion that was made, and I'll be voting along with you in the second.
Okay, let's call roll on Exhibit 4.